If you want to start a business, this is the book you should read. I've read a lot of business books and a lot of them are blah, 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 a lot of yapping, not a lot of actionable bits. This one is not like that. I read $1 Million Weekend in about 4 hours while our internet was down. So here are 4 of the biggest money-making lessons from this book if you are looking to start a business or you're already starting a business. So the first quote from this book I want to read you is, "You will never sell a thing if you can't face another person and ask for what you want." So for the first lesson from this book is to set a rejections goal. In this book, Noah says most people don't ask for what they want. They wish for it, they make suggestions and drop hints, they hope, but the simple fact of business is that only by asking do you receive what you want. No ask, no get. And I agree times 1,000. If you've sent 5 cold pitches, I'm really proud of you. Super, super, super proud. I know it's really scary, but we gotta do more. We gotta play the numbers game. So imagine you have a 4 to 5% conversion rate when you're just getting started. That means of 100 people you talk to, 4 to 5 of them become clients. So you need to try to talk to at least 100 people, try 100 times, set a rejections goal of 100 to get those 4 to 5 clients. I know it is a lot, but you can do it if you break it down and take it just one person at a time. We rework how we think of the concept rejection. We kind of have to think of it instead, reframe it instead into something that is super cool, super exciting to get. And I know this is really hard. I'm really speaking as a mega rejection averse human. But in this book, Noah's dad actually says you should love rejection. So you should collect them like treasure, set rejection goals, and he shoots for 100 rejections every single week. Because if you work that hard to get so many no's, in them, you will find a few yeses too. 100 rejections a week is unreal to me. That's nuts to me. I think I would be truly unstoppable if I tried to get rejected 100 times a week. And if that's too wild for you as well, just shoot for 1 rejection this week. Can you try to get 1 rejection this week? If you get rejected once this week, come tell us in the comments and you will win my respect. I'll cheer you on. I'll be so excited for you. And it could be rejection for anything. You can go to a coffee shop and ask for a 10% discount. You can send out a cold pitch. You can ask somebody if they would be interested in buying your product. It doesn't matter. You're trying to get rejected. If you've gotten 20 rejections, 30 rejections, 40 rejections, that is really a huge win. And we really have to start seeing it that way because you're 20, 30, 40 rejections ahead of someone who hasn't even started yet. Also, Noah says when you get rejected, here are a couple useful questions you can ask. Why not? So figure out why someone is saying no. Like, why exactly are they rejecting the offer? What's the reason? So getting that feedback is how we can improve our offer. It's how we will increase our conversion rate and reduce our rejection rate. Second question, who is one person you know who would really like this? So maybe it's not for them, but maybe they can think of somebody who it would be a good fit for, and that gives you more data on, okay, here's the type of person that potentially could be interested in my offer. Third, what would make this a no-brainer for you? This is such a great question that also Alex Hormozi talks about as well, is like, what would make someone say yes? You want to figure that out because that would obviously be like the most precious gold feedback that you could possibly get for your next ask, is like, what would make this a yes for you? What could I add into it? How could I change the offer so that it is interesting for you? And 4, what would you pay for that? The feedback to these questions, and I know it's like, oh, this is kind of uncomfortable to ask these questions. The feedback to these questions, that is what will make you rich. Finally, I really want to leave you with this quote, which I highlighted and read like 3 times because it's so good. The illusion of eventual pain that you associate with taking that risk, what if you're judged or look foolish or it doesn't work, is a straitjacket on your potential. And this is really a call out to me as much as it is to you, because I always hold myself back from trying scary things because I'm like, oh no, but what if that? It does not matter. You're the person that has to live your life. You're the one that has to get out there. You're the one that's gonna win. Nobody else matters. Nobody else's thoughts and opinions matter. I know it's easy to say, but kind of hard to put into practice, but just please. If you get rejected, come tell us. I'll hold you accountable. All right, next related lesson, let me read you this quote. Whatever you put yourself to, do it 100 times before you even think about stopping. So this is the lesson, is that business equals experimentation. You have to be able to experiment. And I forget that always. Somehow my brain always comes to this conclusion that business is like a step-by-step, foolproof, 100% success guaranteed strategy, where if I just do the right things, the perfect things, then I'm guaranteed to success. And I find that is why experimenting feels very scary, very risky to me, because experimenting means this may not work out. The wrong decision is better than no decision, because the wrong decision at least redirects you, gives you data, gives you feedback so that you can make the right decision in the future. No decision, no momentum. I don't know if you've ever been stuck and felt stuck. It is one of the worst feelings, in my opinion, when it comes to building a business, because you feel like nothing is happening. And it's just because you're not getting out there, talking to people, getting that momentum that you need to take the right next steps. Even if the steps you're taking right now are not correct, they will lead you to the right steps if you just keep taking them. I know this is kind of a crazy dress. I thrifted it and I've never worn it, and I was like, let me bust it out for YouTube. So the inevitable truth is, if you can't experiment, you can't do business. AKA, if you can't try a lot of times, you just cannot do business. And the second part to the experimentation is to give the experiment enough of a chance before declaring it a total failure. That means not just running your business for 5 weeks and then declaring it a failure if you haven't made a sale, or pitching 5 potential freelance clients, then declaring it a total waste of time when you don't hear back from those 5 people. Whatever you put yourself to, do it 100 times before you even think about stopping. And that's actually exactly how I began the experiment of this YouTube channel. I was thinking so much, like way too much, about whether I should or shouldn't start it, or this or that, or what if, and thinking about whether I should quit every single week after every single video, whether the views are there. All of that rumination and overthinking is such a waste of energy when you are just trying an experiment. So eventually, I just made a commitment to make 100 YouTube videos before I could even think about quitting. I didn't let myself overthink. I said, Dea, you're committing to 100 videos, then you will decide what's going on. And that is why we now have over 100 videos on YouTube. You cannot evaluate progress after every single tiny task you do. That isn't enough time for progress and results to materialize. It's like planting a seed and then checking every hour if it's sprouted. Like, have you sprouted? Have you sprouted? And if it hasn't sprouted yet, then like we're gonna throw the plant out, right? Like, that's so unfair. You're not giving yourself enough time to bloom. All right, here's the next lesson in quote. It is deadly to build a business without first verifying that there are paying customers. Market validation, I talk about all the time. It's non-negotiable. Do not launch products or services without checking that people will actually give you money for it. And I think sometimes as freelancers or small business owners, we forget that market validation also applies to us. Not validating your product or service before you launch it is almost a guaranteed path to failure. So what is validation? I love the definition of validation that Noah gives in this book. Validation is finding 3 customers in 48 hours who will give you money for your idea. That is quick, simple, fast. I love it. There's no time for overthinking. Can you find 3 people who will give you money for your idea? Whatever it is you're thinking about creating, offering, making, as a freelancer, small business owner, Etsy shop owner, artist, content creator, it doesn't matter. He talks about how you should just create the simplest possible version of what you're thinking and then try to sell that immediately. So example, let's say you want to be a freelance copywriter. So do not go and build a website, a logo, a branding, packages, etc. Just go ask 3 people if you can help them write a Facebook ad for $20. An example for me as well, this is calling me out. I've been debating selling some hoodies that I would personally love to wear. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would totally buy these. I wonder if anybody else would be interested in them. And I was thinking like, oh, Dea, you're gonna have to build a whole brand, a website, a product line of multiple products before you could do it. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's dumb. I should just go ask 3 people in the target audience if they would pay money for it. And then I would just fulfill 3 hoodies before I go waste all this time and money building a website if nobody even wants to pay any amount of money for it. And he also says the launch is not based on perfecting a business plan, but on talking to potential customers and finding out what they're excited to give you money for. If you do this as a freelancer, I promise you that you will learn more useful insights than any amount of reading books or watching YouTube videos, even this one, will do for you. And for those of you that are a little bit nervous about being salesy, I'm with you. Here's the best news of all. Validating your product or service is not about selling or pitching someone. It's a conversation, talking to find out if you can even help them and if they'll pay you money for it, because that feedback, them saying yes, but blah, 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 or no, and here's why, that's going to make you money. So some questions that Noah recommends asking are, what's the most frustrating thing about what's currently going on? So really diving into that problem, that pain point, like what is the problem? How would having X make your life better? So you're trying to figure out how you're going to solve that problem. What's the solution? And what do you think X should cost? So you're trying to get a little bit of that gauge on the price points, right? So most people are going to watch this YouTube video and then they're not going to do anything from this YouTube video. So I'm going to dare you, double dog, triple dog dare you to go and talk to at least one potential person and ask them some of the questions that I've talked about in this video. Double dog dare you, triple dog dare. I don't think you're gonna do it. If you do it, come tell us because we'll be really proud of you. All right, lesson 4, another one of my favorites, and I've talked about this a lot as well. Stop trying to be a 6-figure freelancer on day 1. Stop trying to be a 6-figure business in your first year. Just try to make $1. And I know what you're saying, but day at $1 won't pay my bills. Yes, but $1 is the first step to $10 to $100 to $1,000 to $10,000. Every single cool freelancer, small business, entrepreneur out there that you admire started with earning just $1. So Noah says many struggle to make their first dollar because they are so focused on how to make their first million. So stop looking at the entire mountain, I beg of you. Stop trying to look 100 steps ahead. Create the simplest possible version of what you're offering and start selling it right away. So example, you want to be, let's say, a digital business manager like me. So go watch a video about ClickUp and offer to set up ClickUp, which is a project management tool for those of you that don't know, for $10 for your friend who runs an Etsy shop and desperately needs a project management tool. Win. What is the smallest version of the business that you are dreaming about? And how can you take action on that this week? Again, not the grand vision, the smallest possible version, as small as possible. Tell me what it is below, and it better be teeny tiny because I want to know. And I'm really proud of you. Taking a page out of Noah's book, which says no ask, no get. So if you want more of these lessons, I'm actually putting together a little business book club Notion database full of all of my favorite lessons from business books, plus how to actually implement them in your business with examples. It's going to be a paid product because I'm spending a lot of time making it, but I'll drop the link in the description box if you would be interested. And if you've made it this far to the video, I have got a secret bonus favorite quote for you. Value, not to mention the lifelong joy generated by a community of 100 high-value attentive fans who know, like, and trust you will dwarf whatever short-term satisfaction you may get from having 10,000 low-value, inattentive followers. This quote was so good for me to read, especially as we hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers a couple months ago. So first of all, thank you so much for all of you who actually watch the videos this long. It means a lot to me and our retention. But this quote just reminds me that I want to focus on quality over quantity here on YouTube as well. After a lot of soul searching, I realized that my goal actually here on YouTube isn't to get to 1 million subscribers. That's not really what it's about for me. My goal is to have 100 attentive subscribers who comment thoughtful insights under each video, and we have like a conversation and we become business friends essentially. That's my goal. So that is what excites me. That is why I make YouTube videos. That's the end goal for me. So if you've made it this far in the video, you're being so attentive. I see you. I appreciate you. I do not take your attention for granted. Thank you so much. And as always, thanks so much for watching. And I really hope to catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.